I'm Matt Bichard with REIT.com, and joining me today is Tom Wilkin, partner with PwC. Tom, a lot has been made about regarding global convergence of financial standards. How close do you think we are to seeing that happen?
About as close as we were about 5 years ago. The progress that's being made is, from an external position, slow and painful from a practical perspective. A lot of the major projects that were the key convergence issues that were supposed to be completed several years ago, most significantly financial instruments, leasing, consolidation, investment companies, investment property entities on the U.S. side, and revenue recognition have all taken substantially longer to complete than originally expected, and the process continues at this point. And some of them are nearing completion, others have a long road to go still in terms of getting them completed.
And what do you see as, right now at least, the biggest obstacle that still remains?
Well, I think there's a lot of discussion about is it a when or is it an if we're going to converge ultimately in the U.S. and from a U.S. perspective, from a practical perspective. Are we actually going to switch over in entirety, or are we going to, in essence, converge and get closer and closer until the differences aren't that significant, and then we make a big jump? Or are we going to go down this endorsement approach where the FASB continues to exist but reviews and approves the standards that are coming out of the ISB? I think it's going to be very hard from a practical perspective for the U.S., especially the SEC, to give up sovereignty around control of the standards in the U.S., and they probably never will. You may end up in a situation where we're reporting under ISB in accordance with U.S. And a little bit different than the rest of the world. So I think it's going to play out over the next 5 to 6 years, and it's going to be interesting to see how that happens.
Now, it sounds like there's obviously still quite a bit of uncertainty, so this next question may be a little tough to answer, but if you had to boil it down to an investor in a U.S. REIT, what would you tell them about what they should expect if this does, in fact, happen?
Well, I think a lot depends on the current conversion projects and where they're going today. And it's really hard, given some of the changes that have happened in the last couple of months in terms of changes in direction. Most significantly for the property REITs in the U.S., the leasing standard is a critical issue both from their business perspective and their financial reporting. The business perspective, because of its impact on the lessees and their accounting, might change the business dynamics and how they negotiate transactions. Right now, the real estate property would be scoped out of the lessor side of that project, and you'd have something more akin to the status quo accounting. But you also have the other standard that has a huge impact, which is investment property entity. If that is to go forward as it currently exists, and the REITs are scoped in, as we understand some of the intent was to get the public REITs in so that they could get the fair value accounting, you might see the public REITs reporting on a fair value basis, which would be a significant change from current reporting, and the investors are going to be getting a lot of different information that they haven't seen. It's going to be tough for some of them to digest that.
For more on this and other news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.